So like for the people out there that's listening right now, especially a lot of aspiring artists that, you know, maybe not understanding too much about marketing their music and the importance of it. Like, how would you describe your current marketing strategy when it comes to promoting your own music? And should you have to, you know, make changes, like what changes are you considering in making?
Well, the algorithm doesn't like me because I can't. None of my songs are categorized individually or as a whole. Mm-hmm. So I'm doing the old school '90s, '80s, talking to people on the radio technique. Because most people I talk to really like my stuff. It just gets pushed out because it doesn't have a category.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you still believe in the radio as a proper approach to marketing music, or do you feel as though like radio is kind of on the decline and it's best to start looking for other avenues and other means to market and promote your music?
Well, I consider podcasts part of radios, and those are doing well. But it's more like you need to know how to talk. Mm-hmm. You can't just come up here and sell yourself. You have to be kind of, I don't know what the word is.
I would say, you know, the word I would guess you were looking for would say more open or a little more, you know, intimate with the audience. Because one thing I have learned, you know, over the time is, you know, me doing what I do as far as radio is concerned, I've come to understand and realize that, you know, radio is definitely a very intimate, you know, way of reaching people. Because, you know, when it comes to TV and it comes to, you know, like, you know, YouTube and things like that of that nature, you know, people don't really have the chance to really interact with the artist. I mean, not the artist, but really interact with the audience as much as they can through radio. You know, podcasts, they have you know, their strengths and their weaknesses. But also when it comes to radio, like I said, you know, you got people, they can listen to you, you know, they can, you know, call in if the show offers the call in feature for people to call in and interact with you. And then you also have it where, you know, most of the times, like if you hear a song on the radio, unless it's, you know, one of the, you know, I don't know, I guess one of the top 5 songs that's being pushed on the radio at the time, you know, it's kind of difficult. You won't know when you're going to actually hear that song again. So radio has its strengths and its weaknesses as well. But, you know, it also is one of the most effective ways of reaching more people. Do you agree with that? Or do you feel like, you know, there's other ways that's a lot better as far as radio?
For me, that seems like the best way as of now.
Would you recommend any other artists out there that would, you know, look to push their music to come to the radio, or would you advise them to go to other means such as streaming platforms and stuff?
It depends on what type of music. If you got like music that sounds like other people's and you can push it through the social media algorithms, I'd try that first. But if you got like weird stuff, you got to do. I think this works better.
Now, this is something that I've been seeing a lot lately, and a lot of conversations I've had with people that are, you know, involved in the music business as well as the industry. And I'm starting to see now that when it comes to a lot of these streaming platforms, you know, I'm not going to mention a lot of them right now because I don't want to, you know, come into any kind of legal issues or whatever the case may be. But I'm starting to see now that there's a lot of streaming platforms that are actually starting to pay artists a lot less than what they would if they were to go to, like, say, a radio station that, you know, is tracked, that, you know, allows artists to recoup royalties from any time that a song is played and everything. How do you feel about that? Have you caught any wind about that as well, or is this news to you now with me and you talking at this point?
Streaming's always paid really crappy. That's why concert tickets are worth so much. You know, touring like 11 months out of the year. There's really no money in it, in streaming, but the upside is I'm just one person. I'm not like a big whole production company, which is probably the only reason this has a chance of working for me.
Now I have a question with you. With that being said, you know, you said that, you know, streaming has always been, you know, crappy as far as pay, you know, when it comes to royalties for artists having their music on these platforms. But why do you feel as though, or what would you think is the reason why still artists, even though they may know this, still elect to go to the streaming platforms where they know they're going to make a lot less, as opposed to going to other platforms where they can make more, you know, money as far as, you know, radio and podcasts, especially the radio stations that are, you know, tracked and also pay out royalties? Why do you think that they prefer streaming?
Because you can get the song you want when you want it.
Oh, Okay.
It's more like marketing. You have to think of streaming as marketing and not like profit.
Oh, okay. Understandable.
When you're a traditional musician, yeah.
Understandable. I remember you said something about that one time before, you know, where you saying like, you know, when it comes to streaming, the listeners now are the gatekeepers as opposed to the radio hosts and the DJs that spin the music. So when it comes to the streaming, you know, there's more access to, you know, the listener to get the song when they want it at any time, as opposed to, you know, if you're listening to the radio, it's a chance that you may hear that song and there's a chance that you may not. And then you also have a lot of people out there that's looking to, you know, pay money to get themselves on playlists. Like, how do you feel about that?
I've tried that. It didn't work for me because I couldn't get the algorithm out.
Algorithms, you know, is that still like really an important and huge thing in music marketing, as you know, as it is like with content creation and whatnot?
Yeah, that's why all the top songs sound the same.
Oh, that's something I don't like. I'm gonna just be.
Yeah, I don't like
honest.
it either.
Yeah, like I'm gonna be completely honest. Like I don't like this whole, you know, this whole era now where it's like everybody gotta be like someone else or sound exactly the same as someone else to be able to catch on. Because it's like, you know, to me, it's like the artist's real talent gets pushed to the back burner because they want to sound like somebody else in order to be successful. Whereas, you know, the era I grew up in, you know, it was more so like if you had a distinct sound or uniqueness about your music, you stood out more as opposed to now. Like, why do you like? Do you have a theory or maybe like a feeling as to why it's like this now?
There are multiple theories, but my main one is people want to stay comfortable with what they know and kind of want to be told what to do. So like if it recommends a song like the song is already listened to, it's just going to keep recommending similar ones to that. Doing the same ideas over and again.
Do you think that people will ever, you know, break away from this whole like trying to sound like everyone else and get back to originality in music? Or do you feel as though like this is here to stay and it's just, you know, more so just waiting for the next trend to come about for, you know, artists to catch on to and go follow?
I think it's going to be more trends for the foreseeable future.
I mean, I understand it, you know, especially the way, you know, the music industry has evolved over years. But me, I'm still a big advocate of, you know, creativity and originality when it comes down to it. You know, I'm only one person and I'm the only one, you know, that can have this kind of thought. But, you know, I'm pretty sure there's other people out there, you know, my opinion is my own, and I'm pretty sure there's other people out there that may think differently. But me, myself, I'd rather see originality and creativity come back instead of, you know, everybody just trying to sound the same and being comfortable. You know, I want to see artists get out there, take more risk and try different things that, you know, will help them be more, you know, successful with music instead of just feeling like they have to follow somebody else's blueprint.